Well, good afternoon and welcome to KG5. Apologies for the belated start here. A few technical issues with our live streaming device, but they seem to be sorted. And we've got this game for you now. It's Glenorchy Magpies and the Lauderdale Bombers in the TSL. Glenorchy on the attack here. As under pressure, it's going to be a goal. He's done well to keep his balance there. Cameron Goodsill, really good strength through the core there as he was being tackled to keep his balance, get the kick away. That'll be Glenorchy's first goal of the day. Now, we believe it's 9-3. We'll get confirmation for you on that shortly. But Glenorchy with a goal there. I'm Andrew Cooling. Joining me for this one this afternoon is Brent Costello. Brent, good to finally be bringing this one to you.
Yes, Drewy, good to be here. Looking forward to this game. As you can see there, the score on screen. 1-1, 7-1, straight 6, almost gone 10 minutes in this opening term. Should be a cracking contest, this one. Obviously, the news during the week wasn't great for Lauderdale off the back of that loss to the Tigers. They've lost Alan Christensen, their star marquee recruit, for at least the next 6 to 8 weeks. So a bitter blow for them as we restart in the middle. Hayden Smith back here at KG5, the scene of his season-ending knee injury, of course. So good to see him back in the team as the Magpies work at 4 once more inside 50 mark. Not being able to be taken there as the Bombers work it out of defence. Here's Will Poland, the league rising star from a couple of years ago. Bouncing ball. Umpire's blown the whistle here. Free kick going the way of Lauderdale. Lincoln Arnold centres the footy right in the middle of KG5. Josh McGuinness goes forward. Mark taken by Patton, who goes inside 50. The running Reece Sutton, a veteran of this team. Been around for a long time, played in all those grand finals for the Bombers. That might have been a high tackle. It was indeed. And the Bombers now will get a shot on goal through Ed Stanley. Great to see him back playing TSL footy after heading off to the SFL. He'll go back now and have a shot from about 40 metres out.
Not the easiest of kicks here for Stanley. Bit of an angle. There's a fairly strong wind blowing straight through the guts of KG5 last week. Not quite as strong this week, but this was certainly a difficult kick. So what can Edward Stanley produce here for the Bombers? He saunters on in. Let's fly from 45. Goal umpire doing some work, and it is away to the left, so just the behind there for the Bombers.
Interesting to see how Lauderdale respond this afternoon, Drew. I would have expected to win that game last week against the Tigers, but to the Tigers' credit, getting the job done, their best start to a season, I'm pretty sure. 2-0, top of the table. They've got a big challenge on their hands up at Windsor Park this afternoon against Launceston. We'll keep you across those scores as the afternoon progresses, as the mark's taken there by Tom Cleary. Back for a couple of years now with the Magpies after spending some time in Victoria. Mark taken, big, nice jukes from Harrison Gunther, who's been playing a bit of VFL footy for North Melbourne the last few weeks. They come forward now again, the Magpies. The ball intercepted though by the Bombers. Heavey gets wrapped up and thrown to the ground, and umpire eventually blows the whistle and says, I'll have it.
So that contest on centre wing. Hayden Smith in there will compete with Howard. Smith won it decisively, but straight down in the end to White. The handball forward and kick from Howard, tumbling inside 50. It's all Lauderdale back there. Missed the mark though. Let in Daly. He handballs over the top, and a certain goal coming up for Ben Kamerick. He gets his first of the day. This man was on fire last week, and he picks up right where he left off. Benny Kamerick in very good goal scoring form. And Glenorchy take the lead here. And just a missed mark really hurting them there, Bruno.
Yeah, absolutely. Star of the comp, Ben Kamerick. Yeah, we had his injury trouble. Had that breakout year a couple of years ago, but dealt with a few injuries. But as you say, Drew, had a great game last week. 5 goals, was it, in the end? I think he kicked
5 and 4 in the third quarter when they were down by about 30 points. He willed them back into that contest. It was one of the great individual performances, and played midfield too. He was doing it from the middle, so midfielders who can kick goals, that's what coaches love more than anything, I reckon.
Absolutely. Talking to Daniel Willing, the coach of Lauderdale, during the week at the press conference, he's certainly having a few sleepless nights during the week, wondering what to do and how to contain Ben Kamerick. So we restart in the middle again. Pies work at forward again. This time through Howard. Ball to ground, and eventually worked out. And it's the Bombers that end up with it. Here's Poland again. Just works some traffic nicely inside the centre square. Magpies get the ball. Work it forward through Geared. But this one's going to be mopped up by Raglione. He finds Joseph Salmon, who I'm looking forward to seeing this afternoon. This is my first look at Lauderdale this year, and heard a lot of good raps about Salmon. We see Siggins now, the league best and fairest from last year, just pushed that one a little too wide and out of bounds.
Just asking a little much of William Francis there, and certainly some hype on Joseph Salmon. The Waffle obviously a very strong competition, so we'll see how it translates here. And yeah, likewise my first look at the Dale for season 2021. In a battle early on here against the hosts, as this one's won down by Smith. Just hacked forward. It falls into the hands of Joseph. His left foot kick bounces awkwardly at half forward. Handball, a pretty good one, looking for Daly. Shirks past one, beats another. Cullen Daly didn't quite get enough on it. Right on the line, Oscar Shaw weaving his way through Daly. Exciting stuff, but not quite the purchase on the kick.
Geez, exciting to watch Cal Daly. He's had some ripping games out here on KG5 over the journey, and just lights it up when he gets the footy in his hands. It's brilliant to watch. We see Poland now. Kick it forward to the wing. Mark taken by Bryce Walsh. Speaking of veterans, this man's played a lot of TSL footy now. He finds the chest of Ratcliffe. 15 minutes gone in this opening term. It's the home team leading it by 5 points. Joseph, but the Bombers end up with the footy. Intercepted again though. And now another chance for Glenorchy to move forward. Here's Howard again. He's had a lot of the ball here in this first quarter. Punched away nicely by Poland. Another boundary throw in.
Yeah, just maybe erred a little in playing on there. Just limited his options a bit. The Lauderdale defence was pretty set. They were able to put that one out of play for the throw-in. But under siege at the moment, it's Glenorchy winning the ball in the middle of the park and getting it forwards and dialing up the pressure on the Bombers. How will they respond? It's the deck. This one smashed on out of there. Some good distance and a good mark too taken there, floating across by Richmond. Richmond back inside. The handball for McGuinness in a little bit of trouble. He went sideways to Stanley. Stanley just puts it out in front of Steinbauer. Steinbauer trying to let the ball settle, but it wouldn't for him. And taken away by Cleary. Cleary got it out to Webster. Webster's kick in dispute on the wing. Picked up again by Stanley. Couldn't control it though, and the Magpies will take it away. A chance now for Rybelt. He runs the wing of KG5 and then lofts one to half forward. It wasn't a good kick. It's straight out on the full, and the kick will be taken by Poland.
So they work it back in quickly, the Bombers. Walsh with the footy. Decides to switch play. And the Bombers have got some space here to work with. Taken by Arnold. He drives it up the wing. Who's on offer here for him? Ball falls just a little bit too short for Fergus Kenny. Out the back. Patton to the paint of 50. Worked away, though, by the Magpies' defence. Siggins is there lurking. He gets it up, Sam Siggins, in the end. Scoops it out. Franklin was there, but Webster ends up with a footy. Little ground-grubbing kick, and it's eventually worked out of bounds for a boundary throw-in again.
So the first time going forward for a little while here, Lauderdale, and a chance to lock it in. Can they capitalise and make something happen? It's been the Magpies in the ascendancy early on in this one. There's the throw back into play, tumbled down, trying to come through with it was Kenny. Got the kick around the corner. Didn't quite bend it back enough through for the solitary behind there. In the overcast conditions here at KG5. Not as windy as it was last week, thankfully, because that really impacted the skill of the contest. Teams found trouble transitioning the ball with kick. No such issues here for the Magpies. They're going coast to coast. Oh, brilliant defensive effort. That is superb from Salmon. Might have saved a goal there as Joseph turned inside 50. And he's won the free kick as well.
Not sure where Matty Joseph was going to go then. Anyway, had no one to kick to by what I could see. Walsh now. Raglioni chasing it hard for the Bombers. Little toe poke off the ground and gets some metres gained there with the footy. And he gets it back in the end too. Chased his own ball down but couldn't quite work it under his spell, and out it goes for another boundary throw in. So approaching time on here in the opening term. Nice start by the hosts. Now Jay Bowden this year. It's a little different, the look of the Magpies, but still some of the wise heads out there as well. One of those, Sam Rundle there, number 7, you can see on screen. Played a lot of footy with Launceston before making the move down to Hobart, of course. All right, we'll come in and grab that for a ball up. You can get your tip at the start of the game. Drew, who do you like in this one?
I probably would have tipped Lauderdale heading into the game, but based off this first quarter, you'd have to say Glenorchy looking well and truly up for the fight. What about yourself?
Yeah, I would have done the same, but you're right. They look very nice, and that's Harrison Gunther out in front with a nice mark.
Very impressive last week, Harry Gunther. He was a pillar back there for the Magpies. Talk about the Moz, though.
Oh, there's a big high tackle. That's going to be a free kick now to Harry Richmond, who we know can carve up teams when he's on song. Saw him down at Lauderdale last year. Might have been against Launceston, where he was just dominant all day. So can he get one back here for the Bombers? He'll kick just on the paint of 50. It's a higher ball. It's going to be out on the full. Missed a lot there, Harry Richmond.
I think he got a little close to the man on the mark there,
got
going
real close
for the extra distance.
Yes.
And realised, hang on, this is going to go right into him.
Yep.
Got under it a bit too much as a result. Tough kick, though.
Was indeed.
Chipped dangerously to Cleary, but the big man had the situation under control. They'll try and walk it out. It's a nice little chip to Daniel Joseph, who'll continue to walk the line, and he sends it further afield to Braden Webb.
Great to see this man back. It's been a long time since we've seen him play TSL footy. 2019, Drew.
That's a long layoff, a couple of years, and it was a very good kick he produced for Big Deegan, but the ruckman fumbling that one over the line. Should have had that there, the big fella. The kicking skill was pretty good from Glenorchy early in this one. Certainly a contrast to last weekend, but again, the wind was such a big factor last week. But you can see what they're trying to do, trying to maintain possession of the ball around the ground, hit up their targets. Method of going about it, charging through that was some nice play from Walsh. Ratcliffe sends it out to the space. He's got Rolf leading up at that one, and he brings it under his spell. Looks up, assesses his options, then chips it to half forward. Just slightly heavy with the kick, though, but Patton made it work. A good quick handball, and now the Dale charging inside 50. Big chance there. Just off balance in the end was Richmond. And taking it away from here is Tom Cleary. Cleary going out to Roberts. Roberts left that one behind. Invited in Raglioni. He puts it over the top for Rolf. Again, the Glenorchy defence does just about enough. Franklin, handball over the top. Just off the ground from Joseph. Tumbling towards the wing. I think both players were pretty happy to settle for a throw in there.
We mentioned Braden Webb there earlier. He's been through some horrific recovery from injury. So it's been a long time, I think. It was the start of 2019 since him and Daniel Joseph have played in the same side together as well. Paul Kennedy, the coach, was saying during the week. So a really long time ago since two of their best players have been out there together. So that's going to give the Magpies some confidence moving forward as well, having those two particular guys out there, as we see Bryce Walsh land the kick here following the out in the full. Just a little short pass. Hits up Stanley. Has he got an offer? He decides to use Josh McGuinness. He goes further afield to Poland. So some of the big names at Lauderdale linking up here. Now Will Francis goes inside the centre square. Here's Walsh. Might be a long quarter this one. Walsh drives it long, goes inside 50. Gunther. Who's the mark being paid to? Has it been paid to Richmond? No, it is Gunther. So he's started beautifully here, Harrison Gunther, in some really good form for the Magpies. As he winds up and hits Cooper Meredith. Meredith plays on quickly. Joseph slides under. Now Siggins pops it high. It's a bouncing ball in the end, is it? No, it's got the journey. Touched. Jeez. Just. Little let off there for Glenorchy. Moves Lauderdale to a 3-point. It's behind the Magpies.
It's a monstrous kick from Siggins. And got some good carry. Just needed about a metre more in the end. A fantastic goal. He looked to assert himself. Now the Magpies have predominantly been exiting out the opposite side to which they're going to head on this occasion. Geared hands it out and just puts his team under a fair bit of pressure. But they had the numbers, and in the end Deegan is there to just belt it up towards the wing where they also have the numbers. They should be able to make this work. Webb was in there. Martin just getting in the back a little there, I thought. The umpire lets it go, and there'll be a ball up on centre wing.
Just wonder what's going through Braden Webb's head. You come back from injury. Is it in the back of your mind when you're out there? Like it must be. Yeah,
I think obviously he would have probably had a fair bit of rehab going on, so it's a tough one to get back from psychologally. When you're out there.
Every time you get pulled down, you'd be like, oh.
I think it's one that after a couple of games you're probably right, but a bit like just got to get back on the bike, as it were. Because that's a long searching kick. A bit of holding and scrapping going on there. Trying to get rid of it with Siggins. Now picked up by Heavey. He sends Lauderdale inside 50, looking for the free kick. None forthcoming. Gunther. Oh, couldn't pick it up, Gunther. Composed though. Very composed stuff from the Magpies, and they just handball their way out. It was very nicely done in the end, and the risky kick back into the centre is intercepted though. McGuinness, his handball put Heavey under all sorts of pressure, and there'll be a ball up in the middle of the park.
3-point advantage here to Glenorchy. Can't be too long left in this opening term as we see the two rucks go at it again. Another man looking forward to looking at is Darian White this afternoon. Drew, we just saw on screen there as Heavey takes the mark. Former Collingwood Category B rookie in the AFL. Played a bit of VFL footy also. So they go inside 50. This one's going to tumble out of bounds though.
They've just gotten on top as the quarter's gone on, haven't they, Lauderdale? They've really started to dominate the inside 50 count in the last few minutes.
Yep.
Can they get a goal to show for it?
That'd be nice, wouldn't it, for them? On the stroke of quarter time, if they can. In it comes. Ball down. Punched away, and it's going to work itself towards the boundary again. Can Siggins contain it? He can't. Another boundary throw in. A couple of other games this afternoon, as we said earlier. Launceston hosting the Tigers at Windsor Park, and looking forward to the outcome of the one at Blunston Arena. Clarence's first home game in a year and a bit. They take on North Launceston, who I really can't wait to see how they go today, the Bombers. They obviously lost that opening round game against Launceston, and then a big win against North Hobart last week. Kept the Demons to just one goal.
Yeah, I think there are a few suggesting after week one, are they going to be the force they have been in previous years? Well, they seem to just shut that talk down pretty quickly last week as Westall tried to make something happen but turned over in that kick. Was it straight out? Did take a little deflection. No, it's going to be a free kick for Heavey from the tightest of angles. 26 minutes 40 gone here. You'd think He'll just look to square this one up to the top of the square and let the big man fly.
Top machine pocket.
Although maybe he'll fancy himself. If he might have drawn inspiration. Your boy Dom Sheed, not in bad touch last night either.
Very nice touch.
Fairly handy goal kicking form in that third. Can Heavey offer the same? No, he's put that one near side. And that will be the end of quarter number 1. And it is the Glenorchy Magpies with a 2-point advantage at the end of it. They took the early lead. Lauderdale really got on top and dominated the last 10 minutes of it, but couldn't find a goal to show for it, and are 2 points in arrears at the first change.
Didn't mind the start from the Magpies, but as you said, Drew, they worked themselves back in it at that back end of the quarter, didn't they, the Bombers? So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this one plays out. Harrison Gunther looks really in really good form down back for the Magpies, and yeah, just really looking forward to seeing how Braden Webb goes this afternoon in his return game to the TSL.
So we'll take a short break and we'll be back in a couple of minutes with the second quarter here at KG5. The Magpies holding sway by 2 behinds.
Cut the boards, PK? Do you want me to cut the boards out or? No.
And welcome back for the second quarter here of this TSL game between the Glenorchy Magpies and Lauderdale Bombers. It's the hosts holding sway by 2 points at the break. Controlled the early part of the quarter. Lauderdale working their way back into the contest. As it went on, just couldn't quite find a goal to show for it in those last 10 minutes or so, but a very even game developing, pretty low scoring. You're expecting the arm wrestle to continue in quarter number 2, Brent Costello?
I think it will, Drew. Yeah, I think it will. It was a game of a quarter of 2 halves then, really, wasn't it? We saw the Magpies on top in the early part and before Lauderdale worked their way back in. So yeah, I'm expecting more of the same here. See, as we said, both teams looking for a response today. Lauderdale touched up by the Tigers last week and Clarence knocking off their arch rivals in the Magpies. So both teams desperate for a win.
Back underway here at KG5, and it bounces accommodatingly for Wyatt. Handball out for Camerick. Picked up where he left off with the first quarter goal. Can Daly bring this one under his spell? Not quite. Francis doing the defensive work. Handball across to Poland. Forced into a very risky kick, Poland, but they had the numbers, Lauderdale, and they should be able to take it away. Well, he just threw that one out. Now Salmon.
He's
Weaving
smart.
through traffic. Not such a smart kick, though. Put it right into a dangerous area.
Gee.
And Poland on the line again, saving the day.
Yeah, smart as in looks good, but that wasn't his best work there. But like the look of Salmon, I think he'll light up the competition as Lauderdale bring it out of defence and straight to the wing. Smith, but Sutton is the one that mops it up. What's he got on offer here? Reece Sutton taking his time to assess his options. Decides to just pump it long in the end. Right in front of us here in the commentary position. That's a good mark. And the man we spoke about in the first term, Darian Wyatt, who's in his first season here at KG5. Played some college basketball in the United States too for Coastal Georgia. Inside 50 again. Here's Sutton. Little handball away. Ends up getting his own footy back. Stanley, now Smith. Smith hugging the boundary, and that kick's gone straight down the throat of Gunther. So Harrison Gunther got to work with here. He decides to go long as well. Right inside 50, all players fly for it. Spills out the back. Bombers have the footy. And it was Tyler Martin that was onto the ground. We'll have a ball up here. Up it goes again. Smith got first use. And now McGuinness just throws it on the boot around the corner. Good mark, though, by Sutton, who's had plenty of it here in the early stages of the second term. Goes short to Stanley. Stanley, of course, I said earlier, back with Lauderdale this season. Good to see him back playing TSL footy. That wasn't 15. McGuinness told to play on, and now the Magpies are away. Here's Daly. Takes the mark just inside 50. Plays on quickly. What's he got on offer? His kick falls short. Walsh just throws his body on the line. Franklin gets the footy back, and now the Bombers out of danger.
Can they turn defence into attack here, the Bombers? It's out in front of Richmond. The ball settles for him eventually. He handballs further afield to Patton. He's being mowed down by Nicholson, so Patton turns and drives inside 50, and it's marked. Some strong hands there, and a chance perhaps for Billy Rolfe, who thought about playing on. He certainly opened up the angle a little. See if the umpire puts him back around. But a chance for Billy here to hit the opening goal of the second quarter. Some good counter-attacking football there from Lauderdale. They're under real pressure up the other end of the field. They turned it into attack in the blink of an eye. So Billy opts to chip it in the pocket instead. Went looking for Heavey. I'm not sure that was the right option. Glenorchy will repel. Out after this one is Salmon and also Howard. And clearly just maybe kicking into the breeze a little. Thought the kick was beyond him, but Heavey, with a man on him in the pocket, didn't seem like the optimal option there, Brent.
No, it didn't. Not sure what he was thinking there, but we go on and we're ready for a boundary throw-in right here on the wing at KG5. In it comes. Smith in the ruck. Tapped it down. It was Rundle. And now Camerick gets it forward. Roberts. And now they're running through again here. The Magpies deep inside 50. Mark not taken. Here's Daly again. And they're calling for deliberate or throw. Throw.
Has to be.
Yes. So Callan Daly will get the footy here. He's an excitement machine, this man. Watch him wheel around here and try and get another one on the board for the Magpies. Callan Daly. What's he got for us? In he comes. Throws it on the boot. And he's done enough to get it straight through the middle. And the Magpies get another goal here at KG5. They're often racing here in the second term.
Yeah, cleverly done by Callan Daly. Suited the left foot of that pocket and just Francis there. Just need to disguise it if you're going to take it out like that. That was not the most subtle thing I've ever seen in my life. Just scooped it straight over the line there. You can do that through the points if you're under pressure, but you can't just take it straight into the forward pocket like that. So just need to be a little more subtle. A bit of gamesmanship, bit of craft.
Yes.
I'm sure that'll come with time, but yeah, made it all too easy for the umpire there. And Callan Daly, the beneficiary, as Lauderdale have been warned for a 666 infringement here. So the umpire will just throw it straight up instead. One down by Smith, and it'll be the Bombers who win the centre break, but turned it over, kicked it straight to Cooper Meredith down there, and he in turn turns it straight back over to Steinbauer.
Cool name.
It is. What can he produce here, Steinbauer? He sends them forward. It was a 2-on-2, well defended by the Magpies. Jared Westall fighting hard. Taken away in the end to Webster. Forced into an awkward little kick, but he made it work, and he found Blowfield retreating, but eventually finds a free man. Now he looks up and doesn't see a lot on offer, so he just launches it down the wing and will let the big guys fly. Punched from behind by Oscar Shaw and out for a throw in. But, both teams setting up pretty well behind the ball, and the other side have possession, making it's tough to move the ball with any great speed here today as Umpire tumbles this one back into play again. Won decisively by Deegan, but he won it straight to Steinbauer, who's getting heavily involved in this quarter. Luke Patton now ran into a little bit of trouble, turned back onto his right, sent them inside 50. Punch came from behind by White, but the pressure will continue to build here from the Bombers. They've got men out the back, and it's a good chance coming up here. They had two free players in the pocket and a chance for Walsh to go back. Sorry, it's Richmond, in fact, to go back and cut the margin to 3 points.
Yeah, well set up by Nat Franklin there. And we know Harry Richmond, an outstanding goal kicker for this Bombers outfit. This one shouldn't trouble him, you'd think. Harry Richmond wanders in and slots it for the Bombers. And the margin cut back to 3 points. 8 minutes gone in this second term. KG5, Saturday afternoon footy.
A scrappy couple of minutes there. Both teams were turning the ball over. Someone was going to get punished eventually, and it was the Magpies who paid the price there.
Good game we've got in our hands, though. Seesawing affair.
We're really enjoying it so far, Brent. Neither team really able to get on top or control things for too long. It's a tough battle. It's not going to be a shootout, that's for sure. It'll probably be a low-scoring grind, but yeah, developing into quite the game here, and really enjoying it, and should be a good game going forwards, because neither team looking particularly superior. As the Dale look to take it out through Siggins. This one just bounces up in the air, tumbling down, brought down by Walsh. He turns onto his left, swings it towards half forward, and trying to make it work was the goal kicker Richmond. Nothing doing.
Said a couple of games going on around Tasmania today. Early score at Blunston Arena. Clarence leading North Launceston 12 points to 7. And Windsor Park, that's the Blues. Launceston leading the Tigers 13 to 8. And here at KG5, it's Glenorchy by 3 against Lauderdale. The Magpies on the outer wing. They work it forward. Nice mark. Here's this man, Braden Webb. Great to see him back in the black and white. Their inspirational skipper. And that's a nice mark, taken all on his own. Josh Meredith plays on quickly, and he's got a target and hits up Rundle. Sam Rundle been with the Magpies a couple of years now after making the move down to Hobart. And John Geard crying for the footy, but Rundle's going to back himself in here and have a shot from that same pocket we saw one earlier today. He ends up going short though, and it hits the target beautifully, and it's Callum Thompson that's taken the mark. Got a little ball a little closer here, but the kick might be a little tougher, the angle. Interesting wheels he's got on there, Drewy, sort of white with a...
Very loud setup.
Yes, sort of highlighted pink. And he comes, has a look at the goal, and I'll tell you what, that is very nice indeed. Goodness me, Callum Thompson, well done to you, young man. Backed himself in and got the chocolates.
You were putting together a masterclass coaching video and you got to the section on how to kick the banana.
Yep.
Just get that clip there and show them. That is perfection.
Beautiful. Beautiful work.
Goal umpire did not move.
Didn't move at all.
Just sailed straight over his head, curled it back, used the wind. That is perfection there from Callum Thompson. And well done too by, was it Geard who just chipped it to him in the first place?
It's Rundle.
Rundle just decided, yeah, maybe a little bit beyond me. We'll just get it a little closer to home. And they get the goal as a result. So very good stuff there from the Magpies. A couple of kicks from the tightest of angles has seen them skip out to a 9-point advantage here in quarter number 2. Rybelt and Roberts out after this one, but just out in front of Roberts a bit too far. And we'll also get to that one, but a good response here from the Magpies. Went down to Clarence last week. Fought hard, but after getting back level at 3/4 time, just couldn't quite run out the last into the wind. A free kick's been spotted here. It's going to go the way of the Magpies, I think. No, we're just going to have a reset and redo the throw-in. Fair enough. Anyway, play on. The advantages of being, or disadvantages rather, being in the studio rather than at the ground there, I think, as this one's tumbled down. Darren Wyatt taking that, we didn't really have the ball there. And just escorting it over the line is Rundle. And assisted the last goal. 11 plus change tick by in quarter number 2. The Magpies just working their way on top of this one here. Deegan with the double palm down. Trying to bustle on through with Smith. Now Webster runs into some trouble, slings it out. Some good work from Kenny. Somehow the ball stays in play and the Magpies opt to chip it backwards, and Daniel Joseph takes a strong mark. Joseph, he wheels and goes through the corridor. Low dart of a kick. And found Adam Roberts. Roberts looks up. He'll send them forward once more. The numbers with the Bombers here, and that's a good defensive mark taken by Oscar Shaw.
Love watching Daniel Joseph play. He called him a minute or so ago, Drew. He's been out here at KG5 with the Maggies for a long time now. Just a really classy user of the footy. Great to see him back playing consistent footy as well after battling injuries of his own in recent times. It's the Magpies' chance again here. It's Thompson again who kicked that great goal a few moments ago. Umpire said, called a push in the back, so free kick going the way of the skipper, Braden Webb. And now a little chip inside the pocket. Wasn't great, was it, from John Geard?
His teammate no favours. A bit stiff there, I thought, Tyler Martin. I thought he did quite a good job of rolling the body on its side to try and avoid in the back.
Yep.
It's actually an impossible situation for a defensive player there. Pretty hard to avoid getting some at the back if you're going to tackle them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought he did pretty well, but umpire pinned him anyway.
So in comes the ball. Dangerous spot here for the Bombers' defence, and there's a high tackle. No, it wasn't play on, said the umpire. And now Smith, handball's off. Salmon, the man they call Fish. Good mark. Came back with the flight. It was Chris Howard.
Fish, get a bit more creative, lads.
I don't mind it. Howard. High ball inside 50, big leap from behind. Here's Braden Webb in his comeback game. He splits the middle, the skipper. Great to see him back playing TSL footy. And look at the boys get around him as well. They know how much footy he's missed. Back in the side with a goal this afternoon. Well done, Braden Webb.
Yeah, fantastic, and everyone running to him there. You can see what he means to this playing group. They are delighted for him. And delighted for the way they're going in this game. They skip out to a 15-point lead and well on top in this quarter at the moment, the Magpies. Lauderdale not venturing forward too often. And Glenorchy firmly in the ascendancy. And they've got a couple of goals to show for it now. So how will the Bombers respond? And that'll definitely be a big team lifter. Braden Webb getting on the score sheet.
Absolutely. These boys would have seen all the rehab he's had to do. So you can just see, as you say, Drew, the way they got around him just then.
It's fantastic to see, and they'll go forward once more here, the Magpies. Right on top at the moment, driving ball. Will it fly out the back for Meredith? Not quite. It might fall for Daly, though. It did end up bouncing for Meredith. Wheeling, and that's an up and under. It'll go to the top of the square, and it's a strong defensive mark there by Tyler Martin. Good under pressure there, strong hands. And just outpointing young Cameron Goodsell, who really caught the eye last week against Clarence. Did Goodsell leading up, took some really strong marks hitting up as Lauderdale again turned the ball over coming out of defence, this time straight to Nick Rybelt, and he'll just swing it into a dangerous looking area. Bullocking through was Franklin, and a ball up inside 50 for the Magpies here.
So 15 and a half minutes gone here in the second term. It's a 15-point lead to the hosts. Bit of work to do here for the Bombers. Smith got first use. Sutton now. Hardly been inside the Bombers' forward 50 at all this quarter. And that's a nice mark from Cleary. Been back for a couple of seasons now here after spending some time in Victoria. Magpies try and centre the footy. There's that man Joseph. Was taken a little high, but the umpire let it go. And now the Bombers are away here. Here's Walsh. Got a little toe poke kick away. Bouncing ball inside 50. Bombers wheel around. They try and centre the footy. Franklin just drives it long to the top of the square. Bombers, the Magpies have the numbers, but Walsh just throws it on the boots. A really high ball. Anyone underneath it? Smacked away. Now picked up and a shot at goal from Steinbauer. Very nicely done. That might be the spark the Bombers needed to get themselves back in this contest.
Well, it's just about the first time they've gone inside 50 in the last 10 minutes, and they get a goal there. Big James Deegan. I'm guessing he thought it wasn't going to be called 15 metres. Opted to just punch it back into a dangerous area rather than going the mark or working it back towards the point line. And if you're going to go the defensive spoil, it needs to be to the pockets or the goal line. You can't put it back into a spot like that because someone like Steinbauer might just be lurking. He snaps it straight back over his head, and Lauderdale get a badly needed goal there.
Yeah, much needed one, wasn't it? Cuts the margin back to 8 points. Feels like it's more than that at the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Glenorchy's dominating the possession here.
Yeah, Glenorchy have been right on top this quarter. I think Lauderdale will be quite happy to be within 9 points of them, given the way this game's been going. And we'll see if it can really spark them as they look to take this one away as well. Some good defensive work there, but held up, charging through. Nice play from Meredith. Handball, couldn't quite find him from Daly. Chip forward. Oh, well marked from Kenny. Kenny with an ugly tumbler inside 50. Played the 1-2, got it back, and then got caught holding the ball. Surely no play allowed to continue. Siggins now with it. He was wrapped up. The Magpies' defensive pressure absolutely electric here at the moment as Ratcliffe also gets himself tackled. Now a crunching tackle back the other way. This is fantastic pressure football. Eventually the umpire's going to come in and ball it up. But the intent of both sides to attack the man is absolutely dynamite right now, Brent.
Yeah, good to see, isn't it? Exciting footy being played here this afternoon. We see Rundle and Franklin having a few words at each other there, off to the side of the camera. Now Joseph, wrapped up by Heavey, ball not going anywhere. Umpire will ball it up again. So intensity just seems to have lifted the last couple of minutes here. Up it goes again. McGuinness is there lurking. It's scooped out though. Now Rundle for Glenorchy. And the kick's just sort of intercepted there. Well done by Steinbauer. That goal a moment or two ago. McGuinness wastes no time playing on, and has it gone out of bounds? It has. So just went a little bit too quickly there, Joshy McGuinness, and Glenorchy end up with the footy once more. Here's Zach Webster. Saw his brother Jimmy play for St Kilda the other night, subbed out of that game, unfortunately. Sort of worked his way back into the St Kilda lineup in more recent times. Here's Braden Webb. working himself into this game as well. He hits up a target beautifully in Daly. Daly inside 50. What's he got on offer? Straight to the pocket. Ball's going to bounce out of bounds for a boundary throw-in.
Not a bad option, Ben Cameron, in a one-on-one contest. I'd be heading to that if it's on offer. Just some nice ball use from Braden Webb too. He's starting to grow into this game, I think. He's starting to find the ball a little bit, and Glenorchy back inside 50 again. You sense Lauderdale in the last few minutes really starting to lift and believe they can get themselves back into the game. A goal here be huge for Glenorchy just to snuff that fight back out. And we'll have it tumbled back into play again, despite a few half-hearted appeals for a free kick, none forthcoming. And will be sent back into play once again. Deegan with a comfortable size advantage over Westall there, but Westall picks it up from ground level and is immediately besieged by two. Lauderdale should be able to work it out of here, and eventually they will through Stanley. Just chipped a clever one out to the advantage of his runner. And lovely little half-forward hit up to Nat Franklin. Franklin cleverly worked it back, and they've played it nicely here to find Patton inside 50 via Walsh. Some good composure under pressure from the Bombers. They kept it clean, and a chance for Bryce Walsh to cut the margin to 3 points. As the runner realises he's getting very close to the man on the muck and veers away at the last second.
Yes.
As Luke Patton with the opportunity to cut this to a 3-point ball game. He gets good purchase on it, with the accuracy always offline, and floats away for a behind.
Yes, the 20-year-old Luke Patton. This Lauderdale Footy Club side. It's Gunther now with the footy. Kick out duty for Glenorchy. Just comes in all on his own and wasn't sure where to go in the end. Or sort of got the kick away and found a target, but unfortunately Nicholson couldn't collect the footy where he wanted it to, and out of bounds boundary throw. We've ended time on now in this second term. Still an 8-point lead to Glenorchy. They've been on top for the majority of the game, the Magpies, but Lauderdale just working their way back into this contest the last 5 to 10 minutes. And it comes again. Howard's in the ruck now for Glenorchy. They work it forward here, Lauderdale. Franklin, really clever as always. Lots of quick hands here, McGuinness. Now Salmon, the fish. What's he got for us? It's off to the left, minor score.
He's not shy about charging forwards, is Salmon. He's predominantly seemingly been playing off half back, but every time Lauderdale get forwards, he bobs up at half forward. He's up and back, up and back.
Don't mind it.
This one's into the middle. It's gone straight to Ed Stanley, and Stanley chips it inside 50 to Rolfe, but a free kick had been spotted. Glenorchy player currently lying on the deck and might need some assistance there. He hasn't moved a whole lot.
No.
Which is not what we like to see.
Trying to see who it is. Not moving too quickly at all.
Teammate immediately signalled he's going to need probably the stretcher.
Yeah, they've called for the stretcher.
And the trainer backing that up, so just a brief pause here, but trying to see who it is there. It's zoomed out.
Yeah, a little hard to tell at the moment.
Fingers crossed though. Never something you like to see in a game this, and well, both teams just to huddle up and reset, because I think we're going to be delayed for a few minutes here, Brent.
Yeah, looks like it. So an 8-point lead to Glenorchy. It's been an interesting game so far. Lauderdale, it's a sort of seesawing affair, hasn't it? Lauderdale, Glenorchy, Glenorchy, Lauderdale, almost the way it's gone so far.
Yeah, Glenorchy dominating early in quarters, and then Lauderdale kind of working their way back into it and having the better part of the second parts of quarters. It's heading that way a little bit this quarter, probably not quite as profound as it was in the first, but Lauderdale were definitely getting better after the first 10 minutes where they barely went forwards. But that goal, it seemed to spark them a little bit and bring them to life, and we'll see how See how this impacts things. Can be a bit of a deflator. At the same time, I think most players be kind of grateful to get the breather this early point in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Still blowing a few cobwebs out, that's for sure. Just only round 3. Might take this opportunity to have a look around the grounds, Drewy, and see what's happening at the other venues this afternoon at Blunston Arena. Clarence's first home game there since the end of 2019 at quarter time. It's North Launceston leading that one by 2 points, 20-18. And up at Windsor Park, it's Launceston in control at the moment against the Tigers, 25 points to 8. 24 minutes gone in the opening term there at Windsor Park.
Interesting game, that one. The premiership favourites up against the early season bolters. And, a good chance to see where the Tigers are really at, obviously, when you're testing yourself against the cream of the crop. But it was a bit different. No disrespect to their opponents from the first 2 weeks, but different gravy for them this afternoon, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And really impressed with the Tigers' start to the season, given they've lost a lot of top-end talent, Kieran Lovell and Mackenzie Willis and those sorts of names. So they've done really well in those opening 2 rounds against North Hobart and Lauderdale. See there, the boys trying to keep the legs stretched while we wait here.
I'm not sure if you caught the incident here that's caused this injury.
No, I didn't actually. No. I just missed what was going on, so it'd be interesting to see the replay to see exactly what happened. Been told it's Darian Wyatt that's down.
Fingers crossed that there's nothing that's going to keep him out long term.
Well, as we said, Darian Wyatt is one we were wanting to watch this afternoon. Drew, a Category B rookie with Collingwood back in the AFL, played some VFL footy at Frankston and Coburg, and former basketballer too. That's why he was a Category B rookie. That's the way Hugh Greenwood came through to the AFL system as well. Played with Coastal Georgia in the US college system, 7.7 points and 6 rebounds he averaged in his final year. Just call me Bruce McAvaney.
I wonder if he had the strong. Huey obviously was a fair footy player before he went down the basketball route.
Yes,
so
yes.
Very different, I think, for the ones who play both, and the project basketballs as they were. But I tell you what, if you're a basketballer converting to footy, you've got Scott Pendlebury to thank for an awful lot. Because, geez, I reckon a lot of basketballs have gotten a chance due to that man.
Yes. So hopefully he's okay. Darian White, boom recruit for the Magpies this season, of course. So fingers crossed for some good news there. Here's some cheers from the fans as he leaves the arena on the stretcher. Be a big boy to carry off on the stretcher too.
Yeah.
A few bodies.
There was a few there around him, helping getting him off. But fingers crossed for him that it's nothing that's going to derail his season. And we'll see him back out there shortly. But the contest continues, and now after that deflating few minutes, the players have got to get themselves back up here and finish this quarter. Can they flick the switch and run out this quarter strong? It's going to be a long quarter now, well over 30 minutes after that stoppage of 5 or 6 minutes. And the Magpies will send the ball inside forward 50. Plenty of bodies parked back there. A couple out the back for the Magpies, but nicely done by Poland. Came through, won it, and won an important ball. He was clean, and if he wasn't, there are 2 players looking to punish him. It was nicely done by the number 12, William Poland, who I've been impressed with today. He's pretty classy back there in the defensive line. Nice line of defence. Nice work from Rundle, bustling through, snapped around the corner. Goodsell, he just overran it. They all burrow in on it. Did he dive on that? Umpire circling. And he says ball up.
Dangerous spot here for the Bombers' defence, isn't it? Up it goes. Smith and now Webb trying to get boot to ball quickly, but Siggins does well. Gets his own footy back. It's inside the centre square, right in the middle of KG5, but the mark taken there by Cleary. Now Webster mops up the footy. What's he got on offer? Looks ahead. Mark not taken by Webb again, but does well. Braden Webb picks up the footy, has a look at goal, goes right to the goal line, but my man, the Fish, is there to take the mark. So Braden Webb looking for his second goal this term. Just eludes him though. Good mark, good stretch out mark there. I think that was Tyler Martin. 7-point margin here in favour of the hosts. Ball flirting with the boundary. It's a little tapped away there. Long. Now Richmond a long way from home. Little short kick. Kenny handball over the top. And now they're away here through Rolfe. Cleary though is there for as the Magpies defender. Not taken. Bryce Walsh is there. Here's Salmon. Umpire's blowing the whistle. Might be a free kick to Walsh. It is. Walsh wants to go on quickly, but decides to wait a second, but ends up hitting the target. And it's that man again, Billy Rolfe, who played on last time and does so again. Now loading up is Steinbauer. Already got one goal this term. No one there in black and red, but Richmond's there to mop it up. Has a look at goal, and that's a ripper from Harry Richmond. Knows where to find the goals and gets one for the red and black.
Yeah, it can be a bit of a cliche at times, the old, he knows where the goals are, but that's exactly what that was from Harry Richmond there. He knew exactly where to go, turns around, snapped it on the boot. Very classy stuff, and he's looked good down there today for Lauderdale. He's been their biggest threat, and he cuts the margin back to a couple of points here. It's a big goal as we head towards the half-time break.
You're right, it is a big goal, Drewy.
They're just late in quarters. They're just hanging in there, not getting blown away when they're being outplayed, and then they're making it count and taking their chances. So it's been a strange old game. As you said, a bit of a seesawing battle. Neither team really has been able to control it for too long. But back to 2 points. And a fantastic game in prospect here at the moment. It'll be a long second quarter after the injury and the stretcher came out. So Camerick with some quick hands. Now Howard. Oh, he got round the big ruckman quite dexterously, and then he sent it deep into attack. The numbers all with the Bombers, though. And parked back there was a Raglione. And takes the mark. Also back there was Tyler Martin, who's taken a couple of great contested marks in defence today. Here's your boy, the Salmon, who's shown plenty of dash. And he sends this one across to the back pocket. Just careful. Trying to control the ball out of defence here, rather than the old run and gun. It's probably led to their best couple of passages in the game today when they've taken the game on with handball. Nice work there from Patton. Well, eventually ran into a little bit of trouble. Still got his kick away. It was impacted slightly though. Now out in front of Ratcliffe. He turns and just sends a high ball to half forward for Billy Rolfe. Rolfe turns, a good strong tackle from Cleary. And we'll have a throw in half forward for the Bombers.
You said a long quarter after Darian Wyatt was stretched off here about 7 or 8 minutes ago. So expect this one to go past probably 35 minutes, you'd think. A few goals kicked as well in this second term. Heavey, was he interfered with? Umpire let it go. Mark taken by Stanley. He plays on quickly. Ed Stanley finds a target in Sutton. Sutton picks up his teammate in the chest, Steinbauer. Steinbauer's kick. Wasn't his best work, but lands a target at the end, but cut off by Joseph, and the ball slowed up now, but they get it out the back now, the Magpies, and they're off and racing here. And the speed of Rybelt goes long. Who did he kick to? Umpire's blowing the whistle here. The ball might be coming back.
Dumped after he kicked it, I reckon.
Okay. So it's coming up the ground here. It's like the kick. Glenorchy, another chance to go inside 50. Hold a 2-point advantage here at the moment against Lauderdale. Here's the man that starred last week, Ben Camerick, kicked 4 in 1 quarter. And there's the siren, so that's quite short in the end, and Camerick's going to back himself in here and have a ping. Just thought the quarter might have gone a little bit longer than that.
Called to play on there. I reckon the umpire said, no, your steps there, you've moved off your line, and he has.
He has. Okay, well, there you go. That is half-time here at KG5, a 1-point advantage to Glenorchy. in a seesawing contest. Really entertaining one all the same. And it's going to be a fascinating second half, Andrew Cooling.
Yeah, we've got a pretty good game set here, I think. Neither team's been able to really storm away from the other. It's been an arm wrestle. It's been tough. It's been congested for the most part. But we've also seen some pretty good passages of play when teams have taken the game on and shown some good run and carry, got the handball game going. It's been a fascinating contest and still the threat of rain about in the second half, which could change things even more.
Yeah, it does look a little grey and gloomy, doesn't it, over Glenorchy? A little wet and wild potentially. We'll wait and see what happens, but going to be a ripping second half. We'll have it for you shortly here on the live stream. Hope you're enjoying the coverage wherever you're watching around Tasmania, Australia, or the world.
Welcome back to KG5 for the second half of this fascinating battle here in the TSL between Glenorchy Magpies and the Lauderdale Bombers. Just a point between the sides at the main break. It has been a real arm wrestle of a game. Glenorchy have started out both the first and second quarters quite well, and then the Bombers have pegged them back both times. There's been very little between them. Will that continue? He's hoping, because it's been a great contest so far. And rejoining me here for the second half is Brent Costello. Brent, what are you expecting from the second half of this one?
Yeah, more of the same, I reckon, Drewy. It's been a seesawing encounter, and I think someone just needs to take full control of this game. A couple of little talking points out of that second term. It was a mixed one for Glenorchy. Saw Braden Webb kick a goal, and that was great to see that the captain's back and playing some good footy, but the talking point out of that second term was the injury to Darian Wyatt, who was stretchered off the ground following an incident. So we saw Lauderdale work themselves back into the contest too towards the end of that second term. So expecting a big half here. Umpire gets us underway. Smith in the ruck along with Deegan. Ball goes straight down inside 50. Can the Magpies draw some early blood here? Ball wrapped up. 1 point buffer in favour of the home team. Up it goes again. Running back, and good mark taken there by Billy Rolfe, who was prominent in that second term. Didn't have a shot on goal in the end, did he? I think he passed it off a couple of times, but had a lot of the ball.
It's a good marking target for them, wasn't he?
He was.
Really good hands at below his knees there. That's not an easy mark, that one.
It isn't. Can he get his team off to the dream start here in the third term? Billy Rolfe wanders in and makes no mistake. Bombers off to a flyer, and they're back in front by 5 points. 37 plays 32, 1 minute into this third term.
That's 3 in a row now for the Bombers in the game. Kick the last 2 of the second quarter and get a goal in the opening minute here. So they're starting to work their way on top of this one. A perfect start for them. And they've not been great out of the blocks in the first and second. So that will definitely please the coach there. How will the Magpies respond to that as Lauderdale taking the lead here? And certainly a player down after that injury in the second quarter. Going to make things tougher for Glenorchy in the second half. Deegan won that down nicely though, and he won it to Daly, who swings this ball forward. Playing in front was the defender. They all pile on top. And eventually we're going to have a ball up inside forward 50 for the Magpies. Smith will compete once again with Deegan. Smith won this down. Deegan got a good handball out. Flicked on by Webb. Smith trying to barge on through. He dropped that cold. Play allowed to continue. The Magpies go inside 50 once more. It's a dangerous looking kick. Stretching was Webb. He couldn't quite get it. And a ball up, I reckon a little bit lucky to avoid a free kick there for mine, Brenner.
Yeah, I agree. Called it well, Drewy. What have Glenorchy got for us here after Lauderdale kicked the opening goal of the term? In it comes. Ball with the Pies. Some candy sold there from Daly. Inside 50 now, but Lauderdale do well to work it out. Kick away was from Ratcliffe. Cleary couldn't hang on to the footy. Want to use Gunther, but opted not to in the end. Just turned his opponent inside out, though, beautifully. Here is Gunther. Nice little kick. And Daly takes a good mark, too, out in front. Was undersized there against his opponent, but still took the mark. He goes wide, finds Rundle. Oh, sorry, Webster, in fact. A little ground grubber kick in the end. Ends up with Smith. Siggins. Handball's off and tackle from behind. Here's Daly mopping up. Cal Daly has a look at the goals directly in front. Has it got enough on it? It doesn't. It's through for a minor score. Just an exciting machine, isn't he, when he gets the footy?
Yeah, I've loved his game today too, Daly. He's been prominent. He's been heavily involved, and he's looked the most lively of the Glenorchy attackers. As this one's swung out wide. Doing pretty well was Siggins. He took it away. Almost surprised that it landed in the breadbasket, and he sends it down the line for another throw in. The Bombers holding sway by 4 points. There's a bit going off the ball here between Heavey and Blowfield. Those two going at it. There's been a bit of physicality in this one, a bit of feeling out there. Both teams very keen for 4 points and a bounce-back victory today. Neither ruck can win that. It was taken by Franklin, who just tumbled it forward. Now bursting through was Ratcliffe. Couldn't control it either. The Magpies trying to cleanly get rid of it, but it'll be Stanley. His kick was smothered. Goes back in, handballed it back, burrowing through Franklin. His handball was there. Eventually out to Heavey. Heavey worked it back and a little chip inside 50. That's nice work from the Bombers.
Friendly fire too.
And the mark is taken by Josh McGuinness as Billy Rolfe is the one who copped said friendly fire. But a chance from 40 for a very good player in Josh McGuinness.
Like looking at people's shoes, Drewy, and Josh, he's opted for the, I think it's the orangey pink sort of setup today. Former Brisbane Lion, of course. Didn't get to play an AFL game on the list though for a little while.
Very capable from here, Josh McGuinness. It's swinging and swinging a little too far, just offline there. Far behind. As the Bombers extend their lead by 5. Little chip to Webster. Demands some movement further afield and then goes with an ill-advised kick. It's turned over. It's going to come straight back inside 50 from Martin. Numbers favouring Glenorchy. It fell out the back. Oh, getting into trouble here is Joseph. Wrapped up by Heavey. Good tackle that. And the ball up deep inside forward 50.
It is indeed a 5-point advantage to the visiting team, Lauderdale, looking for a response from that loss to the Tigers last week at the Twin Ovals. A couple of away games in a row for the Bombers. Ball goes up. Heavey's there. Clever little tap from Siggins. Gunther gets the handball out to Walsh though. And Pies for deliberate. Instead we'll have a boundary throw in. Will we? No, it's yeah, okay. So Camrick will have the kick for Glenorchy.
That's the new rule, isn't it? It's insufficient intent rather than deliberate. The changing of the words. And I suppose he didn't show any intent to keep it in the field of play, but for a millennia in this game, it wouldn't have been a free kick, but the game has changed, hasn't it?
Siggins wheels around, goes deep inside 50. Heavey couldn't collect the footy. Now the Magpies get it again, but Walsh intercepts. Thrown on the boot of the Bombers. Gunther there, though. Camrick. And now the Magpies in danger, but get it out of there eventually. Oh, they haven't. And that mark will be paid surely to Raglione. It will be indeed, and he'll go back now and have a look at goal. Just inside the painted 50. Pretty much directly in front, slight angle. But this, if successful, would extend Lauderdale's lead even further to 11 points. That's Raglione got for us. Goes with the left. And it's going to go to the left as well. Has it got enough on the kick? It didn't. Camrick's there to take the mark for the Magpies.
The relieving mark on the last line from the star man, Ben Camrick, demands some movement further afield and then swings it down the line. No one can take a clean mark. It's the deck. Trying to get through was Martin. Also lurking Raglione. The back and Camrick will just step outside. We'll have another ball in. There's Lauderdale turning the screws in the opening 10 minutes of this third quarter. They've picked up where they left off in the second and well on top of this contest. Glenorchy just need to hold in and absorb for a while and do what was done to them in the first and second quarters. Siggins back to Steinbauer. He's been prolific, this man. He sends him inside 50 once more. Leaping at the ball though.
Great mark.
Billy Rolfe never really a chance, and a great relieving mark was taken by Daniel Joseph. The kick works and finds Rybelt. Nick Rybelt chips it further afield for Luke Nicholson. Nicholson skies one out to the wing. Wasn't a great kick. Made Roberts work for it. Showed some good fleet feet there and worked it further afield to Rybelt, who's under pressure from Salmon, so he did pretty well there. In the end, we'll have a throw in as a scrap develops just outside the boundary line there. Just dumping him to the deck.
Surprised to see Bryce Walsh there involved. Great man, Bryce. And it comes again. Smith, not first use. Ball didn't travel too far. Rundle wrapped up by Siggins. Ball up again. 9 minutes gone, third term. 5-point margin here. KG5, Saturday afternoon TSL footy. Round 3 of the competition for 2021. Big clash of heads there. Pies says he's let it go, but cut off there by Raglione. Plays on quickly. Ball just goes straight through his target, and the Magpies collect it. Here's Webster. Just takes a moment to assess his options. Finds Webb at 50. No. Matt Franklin just flirting with the umpire there. Now, here's Daly. He's been magnificent this afternoon. That one will go out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. Right in the pocket. Nice crowd in here at KG5 too. Decent day weather-wise. Not too chilly. No rain as yet. And it comes again. Smith got use of it. Thrown on the boot. That one's going to go out of bounds on the full. Thanks to Gunther. And Lauderdale will have the footy.
Oh, it's Gunther and Hayden Smith starting to go at it there.
Don't mind a bit of passion, Drewy.
Boy, threatening to boil over there a little bit. And eventually it all breaks up. And yesteryear it might have broken out into slightly more, but rarer sights these days as this one's taken out of there by Poland. He goes looking for the big ruckman. There was a push out. Which way is it going to go? It's going to go against the Bombers. Free kick to... No, we'll go to Joseph. We'll take it quickly. Handball off to Zach Webster. Webster driving it inside 50. Tried to pick his one man in between 5 Bombers. Almost did. Now Kamarick. He's in all sorts of trouble, Kamarick. No prior opportunity to kill. And there'll be a throw in. Good defensive pressure being applied by the Bombers. Steinbauer back there. So, once again, real arm wrestle of the game. It's the Bombers holding sway by 5. Starting to get a little physical this one now. Can anyone get clean takeaway? Gunther now coming up in attack. Wheeling and going. Didn't get much purchase, was Rundle. Just got bumped off his kick, and now the Bombers might be able to counter-attack. It's a 2-on-1 in favour of the Magpies. Coming over the top was Cleary. Now chipped forward by Howard, but he chipped it straight to Lincoln Arnold. And Arnold, he wheels and goes. I think that was touched off the boot. Won't matter if anyone takes it, won't be a mark. Oh, good strong tackle laid there. And then another one in turn was laid by Ratcliffe. And the ball up. The physicality of this game just starting to dial up a gear or two, Brent.
Yeah, we saw a few little spot fires break out, haven't we? Smith took it full control of that one out of the stoppage, and another ball in from the boundary. 5-point margin here, 38 plays 33. Going around the grounds, and North Launceston hold a 17-point advantage over Clarence at half-time. And Lonnie kicked away and lead it by 25 against the Tigers at Windsor Park. We see a free kick paid here to Stanley, who goes to McGuinness. McGuinness sold some candy, ends up spotting a target. Nice mark out in front. So that man again who's provided a really nice target for the Bombers this afternoon, Billy Rolfe, wants to have a shot. Had a little something on offer, but said, no, I got this, boys. We'll go back and have a shot on goal. We'll kick right on the 50-metre line here. And here comes Billy Rolfe, just inside in the end. Got good purchase on it, but it's offline, minor score.
I think that's the modern technique. We'll see more and more. The playing on slightly to your right, just to get a little offset to the man on the mark so you don't have to kick it straight over his head. I think that's the tactic we'll see come into vogue. Is this one's chipped in, didn't have the distance. Well, doesn't matter, the mark's paid anyway to Cameron Goodsell for Glenorchy, who switches it out the opposite side to Howard. Want us to go quickly, but Saw that option was shut down further afield, so just held up a little, and now they go down there. And that one didn't stay in or sneak out on the full. It's out on the full, so free kick will go to the Bombers here, and Raglione can send them inside 50 once more. Who can fly here? Howard did. No one could take decisive mark. Tackle laid by Rolfe. And he going absolutely nowhere there. And the ball up as Patterson tried to escape for the Magpies. Lauderdale certainly had the better of this quarter. They lead by a goal. Siggins was in the ruck. It was kicked clear by Rundle to the favour of the big ruckman in Hayden Smith, though. Hayden Smith launches it once more, but to be frank, it was the kick of a ruckman and went straight to Tom Cleary.
He's a big unit, isn't he, Tom Cleary? Gets the handball to Webster. Webster enters the centre square. Here's Salmon. But Daly now for Glenorchy. Finds a target and Webb. Webb pushes it to the left and ball back inside the centre square. Joseph, always so classy in this Magpies lineup. He spots up a target as well. Magpies go inside once more. Daly out in front.
Superb patience that from Glenorchy with the football there. They wanted to launch the immediate counter-attack, realised they had no one ahead of the ball. It was all Lauderdale set up behind there, so they were patient. They worked it back to go forwards multiple times, took their time, and at least this shot for Daly.
Cal Daly, can he tie the scores up here, make it 39 apiece? In he wanders. It's going to fall short. Out the back's Poland. And taken high. Advantage paid here. And Glenorchy get it back, and big tackle from behind. Was he taken high or was it a tackle? Looks like the kick will go to the Magpies at 50.
Oh, it's got to be 50.
Has to be. No, umpire said no. There you go. So Goodsall centres the footy. Dangerous kick, but Joseph ends up in his hands. Spots the target in Braden Webb, and he'll go back now and have a shot. Look for his second in his comeback clash here in the TSL. Spoke to him recently, Drew, about his injuries, and gee, he's been through a bit. Extraordinary what he's had to go through. I can't even remember them all. He had that many different things he had to overcome. But
someone who loves the game less, you feel, probably would have given it up.
Exactly right. His heart and soul, Glenorchy, this man, there's no doubt about that. In he comes, Braden Webb. Can he make it 2 for the afternoon? Not on this occasion. It's off to the left for a minor score.
And cuts the margin to 5 points. And just when Lauderdale were getting on top, suddenly Glenorchy have a little spell in attack. It's been that sort of a game. Familiar pattern throughout. And it's why the score remains so tight. Deep into the third. This one just over the head of Salmon, who was well marked by Walsh. Turns, goes quickly inside. Found Heavey. Quick hands, and this is some nice play here from the Bombers. Leads to Patton. Now he doesn't see a lot he likes, so just holds up, stops props, and drops one short. Couldn't quite connect with Franklin. The Magpies will look to take it away. Joseph tumbled it forward. Siggins was in there. Here's Daly. Been fantastic, and he lays a strong tackle there and wraps up Patton. He's done it all today, Callan Daly. The excitement machine by the Magpies. And one of the very best out there today is Wester will compete with Deegan. Ford slammed it on the boot. Strong mark under pressure from Ed Stanley, who's another one who's had a good day today. Plenty of it, Ed Stanley. Looks up, he wants to go into the corridor, but saw nothing he likes, so ends up hooking the kick back the other way. Changed his mind at the last second and turned it over straight to Braden Patterson. Patterson swings it down the line, up the back. And the Bombers have the numbers and just fumbling it over the line in the end. And receiving a little bit of afters too, which Oscar Shaw took exception to. He's coming in there was big Harry Gunther, looking to assert himself. Ball in. The arm wrestle continues, Brent. Fascinating game this.
It is indeed as we approach time on in this third quarter. Still anyone's game. This one up for grabs. It's Lauderdale with the advantage at the moment, but Glenorchy have had their opportunities this quarter. Ball not going too far here. Have a ball up again. Who's your tip from here, Drewy? It's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. I feel like over the last 2 quarters, Lauderdale have had more of it, so I'd probably lean that way, but I think it's going to be close at the end.
So McGuinness, Walsh, umpires blowing the whistle here, and free kick going to Josh McGuinness. Love watching this man go about his business, star of the competition. Finds his mate, Bryce Walsh. They've played a lot of footy together, those two. McGuinness gets it back as well. Now Poland, former Tiger, of course. And now Salmon. He runs and puts it out to nobody, really. And that one's going to tumble out of bounds.
Yeah, didn't do Harry Richmond a lot of favours there, but gets the field position, which has proved pretty important in this game today. The teams have got it forward. It's tended to stay down there for a little while.
So back in it comes Siggins into the ruck against Cleary. At the back, Lauderdale trying to just work it to their advantage, but it's gone out of bounds again. Would love to have seen Alan Christensen out here this afternoon, Drew. Well, they've actually got the kicked here, the Bombers.
Yeah, look, as a Cats fan, got a place in my heart for Alan Christensen.
Tom Ratcliffe having a look at the sticks here, but it's going to fall way short. He's popped it up. Zach Webster couldn't take the mark. They get it out of danger, though, briefly, the Magpies. They've done well. Here's Matt Joseph over the top. The handball went way too far over Webb's head. Gets the ball back, though, to Joseph. And now they've done well here, the Magpies. Gear takes the mark. Just on the paint of the centre square. Running through is Camerick. Camerick's got a target up front. Nice mark again from Cal Daly. He's been everywhere this afternoon. Just a star of the competition, this man. Provides plenty of headaches for opposition teams. And this one is one he should go back and slot, you'd think, and put his team back in front. They trail by 5 points as it stands. Cal Daly and the bright fluoro wheels comes in, makes no mistake, and the Magpies back in front here at KG5.
Yeah, they respond once again. Both sides have been fantastic in that regard. As soon as it looks like one team's getting on top, the other hits right back, and Cal Daly has been just about the best player on the park today. He's been outstanding, and he gets a goal there to show for it. And a 1 point ball game once more. Into red time in quarter number 3. Cracking contest this, and just able to get it out the back there. The Lauderdale defence have generally been playing in front, and a little bit of extra purchase on the kick on that occasion. And just sprung him in behind. So, a point the difference as Deegan and Smith duel once more. Smith gets down to take it and then just kind of throws it out. Oh, tackled without the ball. That's surely going to be a Glenorchy free kick going the way of Rybelt. You want to get things moving quickly. Camerick offering, that's ignored. Instead chips it further afield. Oh, Webster just had a fumble and it was a costly one. Still got his handball forward, but they might have gone deep inside 50 there. They still tumble it forward by hand. Salmon coming back the other way. He left it behind. He's now wrapped up in a Thompson tackle. And the umpire says, I'll have it. Inside 50. The Magpies surging late in quarter number 3. A role reversal from the first 2 quarters. He scored one spectacular goal, Thompson. He just sends this one deep forward. Fall slammed on the boot. Snap around the corner. Marked on the line. Is that 15? Well, the umpires decided it is. I'm not sure it was, but the mark's been paid to Matthew Joseph. Deep in attack. And a great chance here to extend the lead. Did you think that one went the journey, bro?
Probably not. It's tight.
Felt a little generous for mine.
Yes.
The Lauderdale defence certainly thought so, but it presents. And now the arguing will make an absolute certainty of it. As the umpire said, you want to keep talking to me like that, I'll pay 50. And any difficulty in the kick has just been removed.
Uncertain goal becomes a certain goal, doesn't it?
It does. Coach killers, those ones. Matthew Joseph, all too easy for him, strikes it through the middle, and the Magpies skip out to a 7-point lead. And really, after having the better of this quarter, Lauderdale, it's been a reversal of the first two quarters. The other teams flip the script, and Glenorchy are putting it on the scoreboard.
What a seesawing affair this game is. Just when you think one team might be gaining a little bit of an advantage, the other team steps up. And as you said, Drew, 7-point margin now, right on the stroke of three-quarter time. Paul Kennedy will be really pleased with his team's back into this quarter. Almost 25 minutes gone. 7-point margin. 46 plays 39. We go again. They get another one here, the Magpies, before the siren. The kick smothered off the boot of Deegan. He gets the ball back, though, and pumps it long. What's on over here? Good mark, back with a flight. No, didn't hang on to it. Looks like the umpire's blowing the whistle here and paid the free kick, though. It's going the way of Will Francis, of course. He goes to Stanley. Stanley, we used to see playing a bit of a full-roll. Salmon just mucks it up there. Couldn't hang on to the mark, and he's in big strife here now. Lauderdale, they out of danger. They're not, because Daly's there to mop up. Gets the handball over the top. Magpies going to get another here. Braden Webb out in front, takes the mark on the chest. Umpire's blowing the whistle here. Is the mark being paid? It's like Braden Webb will take the kick. Just making his few whistles going there. But Braden Webb, I've said it all day, inspirational comeback. First game in a long time for his beloved Glenorchy. In he comes. They make it 2 for the match. It's offline. Good mark. Is it inside the line from Camerick?
And Camerick.
Wow.
It is a star.
He's pretty happy with his work too. Looking for another option. Oh, no.
Oh, he's off.
He is off.
He's off.
Yeah. That's twice. That's twice. Is he letting him?
The umpire didn't call him.
He didn't either.
So therefore he can still take his shot. He's got to come in dead straight though. What a bizarre end of this quarter.
Tough kick. Gee, wouldn't this lift the spirits of the Pies heading into three-quarter time? No way! Ben Camerick, you are an absolute star. What a kick. And what an advantage for Glenorchy going into three-quarter time. A 13-point lead to the home team. That was something special, Drewy.
Yeah, look, slightly contentious in that it did look like he played on.
Yeah.
But the umpire said no, I didn't see it. They were too busy trying to sort out whether it was a mark or not. Weren't really paying too much attention,
Yes.
So he gets it. The siren sounds, so he's not allowed to deviate off his line. Doesn't matter. Just snaps the banana. We've seen a couple of great bananas here today.
Haven't we? What?
That one from the tight angle, and that is a huge blow for the Bombers. Glenorchy skip out to a 13-point lead. I reckon around about the 20-minute mark, you asked me for my tip in this one, and I said, I think Lauderdale have just started to get on top over the last quarter and a bit.
They have.
Well, then Glenorchy went bang, 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 and suddenly they've got a pretty handy lead to take into the final term here.
Entertaining Saturday afternoon TSL here on the live stream. As you can see there, 52 plays 39. Magpies with a 13-point lead at the final change. What can we expect in the final term? We'll have it for you shortly.
And we are back for the final term here at KG5. It's the hosts who've skipped away to a 13-point lead. The Bombers are going to need an early response here in the final term. They seemed well in control midway through that third quarter, and they skipped away to a 9-point lead. I think it got out at one stage, but back half of that quarter was all Glenorchy, and it's the Bombers with it all to do in the final term. Brent Costello.
Yes, looking forward to this, Drewy. As you can see, Lauderdale almost back in their positions, but Paul Kennedy still has his charges in the huddle. Loves the chat, PK.
Yeah, just making sure nothing's missed there.
Absolutely. It's a lot on the line here. We know Glenorchy searching for their first win of the season. This would be Lauderdale's second if they can pull it off. So plenty to play for as they get the hurry up here, the Magpies.
The Bombers are ready to go.
I'm not surprised by this. PK loves to chat at the press conference as well. He needs some of the umpires there to whistle him on, I think, too, during the week. Might organise that. It was
still going.
It was an interesting press conference, actually, on Thursday morning. PK rolled in and I asked him the first question, and he actually wanted to set his own agenda and pay tribute to the former Lauderdale coach, Darren Winter, straight off the top, which I thought was lovely, a lovely touch. Obviously, Darren Winter's been at the helm for a very long time and no longer at the Bombers. He's actually coaching over in Victoria now, fly-in, fly-out coach. So,
big fan of that from PK. Just
I love it.
Flipping it on the head of the journalist. Yeah, we've got our agenda.
Exactly.
No, you'll dance to my tune.
That's right. I don't mind it. He's a journalist himself, PK, so he knows how we roll.
He understands the game.
Exactly.
Well, we'll see what he said here. He certainly said plenty, but with a 13-point lead to protect here, can they pull off what would be a big victory for them? And a good bounce back after last week's disappointment.
It would be indeed.
Final term underway at KG5. And they'll send it forward immediately, and it's marked back there. Once again, Gunther, I reckon, intercept marks. He's going to be right up there at the end of the season. He just keeps doing it. Reads the play so intelligently. Webster sends the Magpies forward. Can they get the perfect start this quarter? Fell to Roberts. Controlled. Went back to Deegan. Not sure that was the right option. The big ruckman under pressure. And then also crunched was Roberts. Done a good job to keep the ball here, the Magpies. That was touched, so it's play on. Salmon's tackle doesn't quite halt Westall. Salmon again. Off he goes. Has a bounce, if you don't mind. Walking the tightrope. The kick didn't quite match the spectacular build-up. And now the Bombers, just ran into trouble there, did Richmond. Perhaps lucky to get away with it. The Magpies, they'll try and repel. That too was smothered. Seen some great smothering here from both teams in the opening minute of this quarter. And there'll be a ball in.
13-point buffer. Plenty ahead of us over the next 20 minutes or so here at KG5. Who'll end up with the 4 points this afternoon? Siggins gets it all to himself out of the ruck, but the kick goes straight down the throat of Dan Joseph. Wastes no time in playing on, but Sutton there cuts it off. So Lauderdale the chance to go into attack. Kick away from Ratcliffe. On the run is that man again in Billy Rolfe. He wastes no time playing on either. Walsh tap from behind. Sutton though lines up at goal. It's off to the left for a minor score. Lauderdale cut the deficit back to just 2 straight kicks now.
5-10 to 8-4. One team has taken their chances a lot better than the other in this one.
They are indeed. Glenorchy work it out of defence. Here's Rybelt. Just taking his time. Patience from the number 2. Hits up Roberts. He wants to go short and does. Joseph finds a man who was pretty prominent early in the game, Chris Howard, in the helmet. And Ben Camrick pretty vocal there, just setting up as they go forward here, the Magpies. Mark out in front, not taken in the end by Oscar Shaw. Ball not going too far here quickly. Getting a clean break is in the end. And it's the Bombers that end up with it. Salmon, but Walsh was crunched in a web tackle. And we'll have a ball up now. The 2 veterans go at it, Walsh and Webb. Played a lot of footy against each other over the years.
Not sure Walsh would have appreciated that from Salmon, just being set up with the old hospital ball. Got absolutely crunched by Webb. The Magpies looked to take it away from the contest. Couldn't quite control that one, Howard. Extracting it was Kenny, gave it back to Siggins and then to Salmon, and eventually it falls to McGuinness. Now the Magpies will take over. Howard tumbles it forward. Bombers park back there. A good relieving mark is taken by Tyler Martin, who's taken a few of them today. He stood strong in the air, and that's a great kick too. Out in front of the advantage of Sutton. He charges and he's off to the races. Sends them to centre half forward with a good kick. Lovely flowing football this. Can Alex Heavey finish it off? He got mowed down from behind. A brilliant tackle from Daniel Joseph and a goal saver at that.
Big tackle. Absolutely. Well done to Dan Joseph. Gunther now. It's huge, wasn't it? Great stuff.
Great play from the Bombers coast to coast too.
It was too. Exactly right. It's Glenorchy work it out of defence again to the wing. Ball just shoots over the head of Sutton and out of bounds. A chance to collect our breath and talk about the 12-point margin that Glenorchy still hold here. Times are ticking now though. 4 minutes gone this final term. Crowd seems pretty vocal here this afternoon. Looks like there's a few in, which is good to see. In it comes Siggins. Got first use. Sutton. Franklin was held up. Ends up with the football though. Trying to get the handball out, but was stopped in his tracks as Glenorchy get it now, but only as far as Stanley, who couldn't take the mark again. Well, the don't argue there, sort of dusty don't argue there from Matty Joseph. Bouncing ball to the boundary. Benny Camrick sees it over. Another boundary throw in. Where's your money at the moment, Drew? I asked you this last quarter. You gave me the wrong answer.
Well, I think obviously, purely, you got to say Glenorchy, purely so Lauderdale can kick the next few goals and give us a real contest, Brent, because that seems to be the way it's going. As it's tumbled back in once more. Thompson has been clever. He was at the fall of it. Also in there was Geared, shoveling it forward. Couldn't quite be controlled by Patterson. Still just trying to bullock forward here on the Magpies. Pressure applied by Heavey. Going nowhere at the moment, and eventually the Magpies do skip free. And they might be able to make something work here. That's a good-looking kick to half forward. Well defended by Stanley, a decisive fist. Now Salmon. Oh, he ran into his own man. That got him in some trouble when he was wrapped up by Roberts. And the umpire has blown his whistle and is going to give a free kick to the Bombers. Ratcliffe, he'll take it. 12 points the margin. Final quarter. It's been a seesawing battle all day. You sense there may still be some twists to come. Siggins, well, somehow fell into his lap as he dealt with two opponents. Bombers taking it forwards. Again, the kick smothered. Seen a lot of that today. The Magpies should be able to repel here. Rundle swings it out for Rybelt. And he just steadies things down, slows it down, and he'll chip it to the wing. Finds Roberts. Quite happy to just eat up game clock doing this, I reckon, the Magpies. Oh, but just a little too casual. It just allowed Arnold in, who put in a tremendous effort to get the spoil there, and a throw in instead of an uncontested mark. Really well done that from Lincoln Arnold.
So that margin of 12 points still remains. Almost 7 minutes gone, final term. Saturday afternoon, TSL on the live stream. Daly. Now the Bombers get the footy back. Here's McGuinness. Ever so classy. Spots up Richmond. Long way from home here, Harry Richmond. What's he got to kick to? Decides to go long. Mark taking a beautiful one-handed mark. Really been impressed with Billy Rolfe's game this afternoon. He's been prominent. Find a real target up forward for the Bombers.
His aerial work has been elite today. He's snaffling everything that comes his way.
It's a good mark, wasn't it? Can he get his team back into this contest? Much needed goal is an understatement here. Billy Rolfe just throws the ball onto the boot. It's going to fall short. No one's there to take the mark, but coming through, Franklin got boot to ball. Hit the post.
Hit the post from a yard out. Would have been a nice goal, but perhaps one he should have had there. In the end, just another behind for the Bombers of 5 goals, 11 now. They've left a few out there today, Airfield, as Camerick will just chip it backwards. You see Glenorchy quite content to go slow when they've got the ball in this final term. As long as they're in possession, they can't be scored against, and we'll keep running the game clock. But Lauderdale players need to get organised off the ball and stop giving them these free options. Fair to say a few of the Lauderdale faithful didn't quite think that was 15 metres, but Camerick paid the mark. And now he's forced to go long down the line. A one-on-one there. Well done by Ruglione. Paul Kennedy, I think, was shouting for a deliberate from the bench there, but that was a bit optimistic. So a throw-in only. 11 points the lead. Glenorchy with a superb third quarter to surge to the front. Can they finish the job here, the home side? The Bombers are pushing here in the last quarter. Can they find a way through? Slapped forward by Walsh, but Deegan was there. Walsh burrowing in again. Picked up by Daly. He's been spectacular. Had a chance to get rid of it and opted not to, but the umpire was on the blind side of it, so pretty safe in the end. And there'll be the ball up. And pressure really amplified in this final quarter. One goal may well be all Glenorchy need. Hasn't been a high-scoring match. Camerick, classy as usual. Just moving through the traffic as if time standing still for him. Forward they go. Great defensive mark. No, not paid to Tyler Martin. Geez, that's harsh. And geez, he's taken a few of them today, Tyler Martin. He's been very strong up that end of the ground as this one's worked forward. Set up for Richmond. Richmond chips into the pocket. It's that man again, Billy Rolfe. And a great chance here to cut the margin to 5 points.
Yeah, well, not sure of Billy Rolfe's background, Drew. I haven't seen him before this season at Lauderdale, but as we said earlier, certainly provided a target up front.
He's marked everything. Can he find a goal, though, to cut the margin to 5? He leans back and puts it across the face.
Just a lot.
He's missed everything, and really it's the area of his game that's let him down today because, geez, he's been good winning the ball in the air, but just using it has been his problem.
Yeah, spot on. You summed it up well. He's been everywhere, hasn't he? Taking great marks, but just hasn't been able to finish the job off. And it might come back to haunt him and his team as this quarter progresses. Still only an 11-point lead, the Magpies. 10 minutes away from time on. Oh, dear. That's a mark that Adam Roberts should have taken there. Gives Lauderdale another chance to go into attack.
It's all well and good to play the slow chipping style of game. I've got no problem with it, but you can't be dropping marks like that. Not in that area of the field.
Exactly right. Here is a chance for Lauderdale to go inside again. McGuinness just shrugs off Geared. Has a look at goal. Goes to the top of the square. In fact, it goes a little further afield. Cleary juggles it to himself. Does well. And gets it out of danger for the Magpies. Just slowing things down now. They've got it out of trouble. Decides to go backwards. Gunther. And goes wide and finds Blowfield. Josh Meredith screaming for the footy. Camerick couldn't hang on to it. Gets it back though. Does well. Blowfield back to Joseph. The Daniel variety. Switches play. Now Gunther, what's he got on offer? Finds the skipper, Braden Webb. And just in a bit of trouble there, Webb, but gets around Sutton in the end. Magpies, chance to go forward here. It's been down, locked in Lauderdale's end for some time. Rundle, Geared. John Geared goes inside. Salmon just taps it away. He's going to go right to the boundary and a boundary throw in again. So 12 and a half minutes gone here. 11-point advantage to the home team. Can they hang on? Andrew Cooling.
We'll see. I reckon Paul Kennedy would have loved that last 90 seconds. Just complete control, running clock, chipping the ball around the field nicely, tiring out the opposition, and Camerick pounces on it. It's Ben Camerick. He wheels and didn't quite have the distance.
Looked good, didn't it? Off the boot.
Jeez, when he skips into space like that, you just think he's going to score every time. But just the behind, it's back out to a 12-point lead. But the other thing that the keepings off does is just going to tire Lauderdale out because they're just going to have to keep chasing their opponents to try and shut down these short options. Glenorchy seem to be running a little bit better just for the time going, despite being a man down. Here's Callan Daly, spots his target up to perfection. It's Chris Howard all on his own, and a huge opportunity this.
Well, the way the goals are being scored at the moment, which is rare, this might be enough, you'd think, Drew, just about, unless Lauderdale can get a run on.
They've kicked 5 for the day. They'd need at least another 3 in maybe 8 or 9 minutes of gameplay.
Big kick, isn't it, for Chris Howard?
Huge moment in this game as he strides in towards goal. Could make it very difficult indeed for the Bombers if he kicks this one. Howard from 35. He sets sail for home and he's hooked it.
Yeah.
Lets them off the hook there.
Big miss.
Bad miss, that one.
So Lauderdale live to fight another day, but they are running out of time. Need to get moving here. Raglione, McGuinness, storming through the middle of KG5. That's not his best work, Josh McGuinness. Straight down the throat of Gunther. He wastes no time. Harrison Gunther, and playing a bit of footy with North Melbourne's VFL team in more recent times. Webb, pretty happy with his comeback game. Just sells some candy. Braden Webb looks at the goal from paint of 50. It's offline, obviously. Wasn't really having a shot at goal, but Howard couldn't hang on to that mark there, and it's out of bounds for a boundary throw in. So almost 15 minutes gone. He's getting tense now. 13-point buffer. It comes again. Siggins tapped it down. It's worked out of there by Stanley, but straight to the boundary again for another boundary throw-in.
Just pitching in front of the line there. It's right into the field as far as the hosts are concerned. A 13-point lead. Looking big in a low-scoring game, but still plenty of ball game left here. 15 minutes gone, final term. Trying to get free here was Thompson. He had a fair while, and in the end, the umpires pinged him. He's saying, well, where was my prior opportunity? Umpire felt he had a chance to get rid of it, and the free kick will go the way of the Bombers. And it's launched along towards centre wing. Flying in once again from the side was Harry Gunther. He's been fantastic with his defensive work and his intercept game once again today. A pillar down back for the Magpies. Very good form, Harrison Gunther. A big stoppage on the wing here. Lauderdale need to get moving for them to give themselves a chance. Deegan competing. One forward for the Bombers though, but it's a fairly aimless kick. It's straight out on the full. And a free kick will go to Nick Rybelt. We'll just wait for the ball to slowly roll down off the back there eventually. Just caught up in some plants there. We'll see what he does. Now, there's been a big stoppage here, so Lauderdale should be manning up across the ground here and not give him the short little easy chip kick that they've been executing this quarter. And they seemingly had, because it produced a fairly rubbish kick to absolutely nobody. Good tackle laid though, and holding the ball. That's a great tackle and rewarded. Been impressed by this young man, Callum Thompson.
He's had a good day, hasn't he? Rundle's had a bit of it too this afternoon. Joseph. Been a good team effort from Glenorchy here today at KG5 for their first win of the season, as we said earlier. Had the bye in the opening round of the season. Not ideal probably, but that's what you got. They're the cards you dealt. Good look at two ways, I suppose. You get a good look at everyone before you have to play them in the bye in the opening round. So another boundary throw in here. So Lauderdale running out of time now. A couple of minutes away from time on. How many goals this quarter, Drew? Not many.
Just the one to Glenorchy, I think.
It'll be a short quarter we're looking at here too. So Glenorchy well and truly in the box seat to claim this one now, you'd think, unless Lauderdale can do something in the next couple of minutes. Here's their opportunity to get one back. Salmon, what can he do? So classy, he has a bounce, he's dragged down. That's holding the footy. Great tackle from Adam Roberts. Tried to do a little too much there. Joseph Salmon. And that might have been the opportunity blown now for Lauderdale. That was their big chance to go inside 50 again.
It's a huge tackles from Joseph in this quarter.
So Glenorchy looking to go up the line here. Juggles the boundary and good mark from Poland. Poland switches play to the opposite side of the ground. 54 plays 41 here at KG5 on a Saturday afternoon, round 3 TSL. Ball just outside the centre square. Walsh got the handball away to McGuinness. Another quick handball backwards. Now Sutton with the football. His ball's intercepted. Daniel Joseph did really well, but Sutton did well to get it back also. Little tap forward from Sutton too. He's everywhere, Reece Sutton. Can't work it out at the moment, the Bombers. Umpire still in this going. Ball's in the air now, punched away from McGuinness. Big tackle from behind, from Thompson again. This time it'll get held in for another ball up.
Well, we're nearing red time and no goals in this quarter at all. Just behinds, and that'll suit Paul Kennedy just nicely. He kept them out there for a very long time at the three-quarter time break, but they've executed on assuming what his game plan was to perfection, really. They've got this game in a real holding pattern, slowing the tempo down whenever possible. And Lauderdale, they're going to need to find probably 3 goals, and they've kicked 5 all afternoon. Umpire spotted infringement here. It's going to go to the Bombers as everyone looked at the umpire. Free kick there to the Magpies, and that could have been curtains.
Could have been.
They have life, though, and they'll drive out of defence to the wing. He spots up Luke Patton. Patton has absolutely nothing ahead of him. So he goes down to the contest. Richmond has scored it out of play by Cleary. We'll throw in, but time is starting to become a real enemy of the Bombers now.
Yep, it sure is. As you say, no goals this quarter. They've got to kick at least 3 here to win this game. So it's definitely against them now. Sutton pops it up high. Inside coming through. Nice mark. Tommy Cleary. Ever reliable in defence for the Magpies. He's in no hurry to get things moving here. And why would you be? Eventually spots a target. It's that man, Camrick. Sort of grabbed at his knee there. Up he goes, Camrick. Pack forms. Shaw coming through. Shaw's got it again for the Bombers. Big tackle. Ball not going anywhere. It's got out by the Bombers though. Shaw. McGuinness will chase the footy as well. A couple of Glenorchy players. It's picked up by Camrick. Camrick just wheels around a few opponents. Does well to get the handball away. Inside 50 now for Howard. Mark not taken, but Daly puts some icing on the cake. Little Cal Daly says thank you very much. And the Magpies will get the 4 points here at KG5.
Yeah, that'll do it. And fitting, really, that Callan Daly might be the man to have the final say. The first goal of the final quarter, we've had to wait till the 22nd minute for it. But Callan Daly has been outstanding all day. The chance fell to him, and I don't reckon there's anyone else on the list that Paul Kenny would have rather that fell to. Maybe Camrick, that'll be about it. And he says, thank you very much, Cal Daly. And that should be curtains. A 19-point lead with just a few minutes remaining.
Biggest of the day too, that lead, wouldn't it? So
Yeah.
they've done well, the Magpies, to skip out to that bigger margin, approaching the final siren.
They've been really composed in this last quarter too. I think the way they've just controlled the ball. The work off the ball has been fantastic too. I mean, it's all well and good to say, yeah, we're going to play possession, chip the ball around. That requires an extraordinary amount of off-the-ball running, which in your second game of the season, in the fourth quarter, can be tough to do. But, gee, they've done it well. As that was nicely defended by Francis. Fell to Joseph, snap around the corner, won't have the distance. Punched away by Oscar Shaw. That'll be a throw-in, but this game will be going to the Magpies. Big bounce back for them after a loss to the old rivals Clarence last week. They would have fired them up. And they wanted a response. They produced it. Lauderdale, meanwhile, tough start to the season for them, and digging themselves a little bit of a hole. They're going to have to find a way to dig out of. Callan Daly skips free, snaps from the pocket, just offline on this occasion. 20 points now the lead for the Magpies, and I think the Dale, they must know they've done their dash as Salmon handball over the top to Shaw, picked off by Rybelt. He'll just step out of play. But there simply isn't the time left now for the Bombers. It's going to be a Magpies victory, this one. Into play again, knocked down. Guinness thumps it forward. Just punched by Westall. Back there, however, was only Magpies. Set up well behind the ball, as they have all afternoon. Tom Cleary sends it long, and inexplicably, two Magpies, Daly and Camrick, the two most dangerous men on the park, all in their own. Daly picks it up, slams it through, says thank you very much. Extends the lead to 26 points. How on earth does that happen? Brent Costello, and just a cherry on top of the cake now.
Well, I've run out of things to say about Cal Daly. A grade start of the competition.
Which is why I'm just shocked that you kick the ball to half forward and Ben Camrick and Cal Daly are just in space on their own.
Staggering, isn't it?
I think that suggests that maybe the Bombers had given this one up, realised they were done. But
it's got ugly, hasn't it? 67-41 now.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Lauderdale being in this contest at three-quarter time, but they've skipped away, the Magpies, and this is going to be a really good confidence-boosting win. Got a game under the belt of Braden Webb now too, which is really good. Looks like he's going to get through unscathed. As I said earlier, he and Daniel Joseph playing together for the first time in a long time. And add to that, Cal Daly, and Camrick has got the footy now. Another inside 50, but Shaw's there to mop it up. Spots up Sutton. Oh, he couldn't take the mark. Reece Sutton. Here's Salmon. It's been lively this afternoon. Probably hasn't disposed of the football as well as he would have liked. Magpies go forward again. Blowfield. Bouncing ball inside the centre square. Can't be too long left in this one. Rundle falls to the ground, and then Pink for holding the footy. Bryce Walsh plays on quickly, and nice big grab. No, not taken there by Billy Rolfe. Sutton was there. Salmon now picks it up. So clean. Franklin. One last chance here for the Bombers to hit the score sheet, but a great grab from Harrison Gunther, who's been outstanding for the Magpies in defence this afternoon. Here's Daly, the man of the moment. He's been everywhere for Glenorchy. Matt Joseph now. And there's the siren. Glenorchy gets its first win of the season, and fittingly, Braden Webb has the footy at the end of the game in his return at TSL Clash. But it's the Magpies, a dominant win over Lauderdale, 67-41. It clapped the losses now on the trot for the Bombers. The Magpies get their first of the season.
As we entered red time in the third quarter, the Bombers were leading 39-34.
Yep.
They kicked two behinds for the rest of the game. Glenorchy kicked 5-3. Just the switch was flicked late in that third quarter. They got on top and they just kept it going to the last quarter. Goalless were the Bombers when you're desperately trying to charge down the opposition. They just couldn't muster anything. Glenorchy in complete control. Fully deserved the victory. Certainly wasteful were the Bombers. They should have probably been up by more in that third quarter. They had some chances. They missed some good looks at goal throughout the game, but you leave the door ajar and that can happen, and Glenorchy just came tearing on through and just spanked them in the last quarter, to be frank.
Yep, no, a wonderful win by Glenorchy. There's no doubt about that. If we have a quick look around the grounds too, Clarence on top of North Launceston now at Blunston Arena by 25 points at three-quarter time. Launceston well and truly on top of the Tigers at Windsor Park, 84 plays 21. Looking ahead to next week, Drew, Lauderdale, another tough task for them. They've got North Launceston, so doesn't get any easier for the Bombers with their 1-2 record now. Glenorchy They take on the Tigers on Anzac Day, the big Anzac Day traditional clash down at the Twin Oval. So that'll be a test for them, but they'll go into that match with some real confidence now after that big win today against the Bombers.
It was a cracking game last year, the Anzac Day game, if I recall, and I reckon we're in store for another pretty good one this year. The Magpies, great performance from them today. Paul Kennedy will be delighted with what he saw. It was a much improved display. And I think we saw, the game plan they're trying to execute a lot easier when the wind's not blowing sideways through the ground. And I thought they executed it really well today. They deserve the victory. Camerick, what more is there to say? The guy's a star. Every time he gets it, the world just seems to slow down around him. Callan Daly, we've waxed lyrical about him all afternoon.
What can we say about him?
He's been superb. And Harry Gunther, what a pillar down back he's been. The other one who really stood out to me was young Callum Thompson, kicked that outrageous banana. And I thought his pressure tackling the man around the ball was really good today.
You've summed it up very well, Andrew Cooling. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage here on the live stream this afternoon. Big win to Glenorchy, their first of the season. Their captain back to Braden Webb. Great news there for lovers of TSL footy. Catch you next weekend on the live stream.